As you know, in March 11 of this year, I received a CAR T cell transplant. I have spoken in my other previous videos about how I dealt with my cancer, how I am, but this is more in depth of how I dealt with CAR T after CAR T transplant. For the first 3 days after my CAR T transplant, everything was great. I was like, my stomach didn't bother me. I was able to eat. I was no fever, nothing. The doctors will come in and see me and say, "How you doing?" "I'm doing great, doc. This is it was simple to get this transplant." She said, "Well, we still got time to see what's going on. We still got to monitor you." But the first 3 days, nothing, except that third day, the evening hit. And then that's when things changed for me. I went from no fever to a fever. I had 101 fever for 3 days. Wouldn't let up, wouldn't bulge out. The nurses right away gave me Tylenol to bring down my fever. They didn't do anything. He kept it at 101. Now, for 3 days, I had to sleep with ice packs in my back. Now, that's not the most comfortable feeling to have when you have a fever. You are just feel that coldness, but I was able to make myself comfortable in bed because I still needed to break that fever. And it was not very comfortable, but I was able to manage it. Now, not only did I get a fever, I also, my stomach started bothering me. The chemo had kicked in my stomach. I was not hungry. I didn't want to eat. It's not that I felt nauseous. I felt like something was in my stomach, but I just didn't want food. And people were like, "You have to eat." Then they were bringing me the hospital food in styrofoam plates. And then the food got cold. And not only I was not hungry anymore, I didn't want to reheat that food in styrofoam plates. I was not going to eat it. So the food was not very appealing. I had to tell them, "Why are you bringing me food in styrofoam plates?" Then they finally said, "Oh, because someone had mentioned you could hurt yourself." Well, I was not going to hurt myself. I says, "You got to bring me my food where I could at least heat it if I'm going to eat something." In which the nurse spoke to the doctor, and the doctor went ahead and changed things. Now, you have to understand that when you get CAR T transplant, they're going to be checking your status of your brain or your mind constantly. And every day I will have to write a sentence, the same sentence that I chose from day one. And not only you have to write it, but they want to see the handwriting to see if you are changing. And the first few days I will write, "I am grateful to be cancer free." And I wrote it, no problem. I'm not going to be conceited here or anything, but I do have very nice handwriting. And I take pride in my handwriting, and it's just, I wrote it correctly the first 3 days. After the fourth day, the medication and the CAR T had taken effect a little bit. I could see that my handwriting was scribbling all over the place. It was not as nice as I usually like to print, but it was still passable, and they were still able to read it, and they will still allow me to continue being in my treatments. So they didn't put steroids yet because my writing was good. They ask you the same questions 100 times. Count backwards by 10. So you have to go 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, 0. And I had to do that every single day, 2 or 3 times a day. I have to write my sentence, I am grateful to be cancer-free, and see how you were writing it. They want to see my mental status was clear. And there was one instance that the nurse did say that I was not myself, and they gave me some steroids. They kept saying that, she's saying that I kept saying cream of wheat for everything. Now, I don't remember that. But these things started kicking in on 3 or 4 days after my CAR T cell treatments. The transplant had taken place, and the T cells were working in my body. And they were doing a nice number of things to me. I ended up getting diarrhea for 2 or 3 days also. Not only I wasn't eating, I had diarrhea. So after day 3 of my CAR T transplant, things kicked in. Things started acting up in my body. I knew the CAR T was actually doing its job. But as I went along, this is 3 or 4 or 5 days already, I did not feel myself. I'll be quite honest with you. I felt weak. I felt like I had no energy. I wasn't eating. I had the fever. After the 3rd day, it finally let up. I was able to feel somewhat better, but I still was not myself yet. So now I'm going into about the 5th day in the hospital. CAR T is killing the cancer for certain. The fever had let up. The diarrhea started slowly but surely getting better. My appetite did not return for a couple of days. I ended up losing about 25, 28 pounds in those 15 days that I was in the hospital. So it did affect me more so than my first stem cell transplant. My first stem cell transplant, I never lost my appetite. My stomach was no ways feeling better. Yeah, it worked better. But I'm here to tell you that it was a little bit stronger, and I did feel it. Well, my friends, as you know, visit my website, carlosperezspeaks.com, for more content. Go to my YouTube channel. If you like this content, hit the like button. Hit and subscribe. Share with other people. I will be talking about more about my CAR T transplant in the next few videos. I like to keep my videos short because people like short videos, actually. I'm not going to drag you on and give you a whole story. So if you like I said, hit the like button. Make my channel grow. Ask questions. If you have, I will respond to them. And visit my other channels. Again, I'll see you in the next video. And remember, you are stronger than you think. Cancer is a winnable battle. To my next video, I'll see you then.